Live in the house. Man, I'm so excited, man.
Dude,
Text.
tonight is gonna be ridiculous. I got the doctor on the show tonight. I had to pull one out. I had to pull one out. What's up,
Oh,
Steve? Paul Robinson. What's up, Region Two? Shay Collins. Hey Shay. Tommy Walker. What's up, Scroller?
all right, Mark, you're going to be live in 10 seconds, bruh.
Jack Seymour. Well, hey, that's first quarterback of West Junior High School. Jack.
Welcome to elifemedia.net, the ultimate media outlet broadcasting live radio and TV worldwide, powered by live music for you, as you all can see. I have gotten taller. Can you hear me, sir? Mark,
Can you hear
can you
me?
hear me?
Yes.
Mark, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I hear you.
Awesome. I've gotten taller. I've gotten prettier over the last hour since my show, and in between me and Haki, the success scholar, I now present to some and introduce to others my man of the hour, Mark, the Speaker Man Wiggins. Mark, man, how are you, sir?
What's up, Big Bubba Grimes? What's going on to the Eli Media Nation? What's up, my Facebook Live fam? I see you out there. What's up, Tracy? Everybody logging in. I appreciate you coming in and tuning into the show.
All right, Mark, some quick housekeeping items. I'm going to try to remember to turn my phone down. But of course, you're working multiple things going on right now, so I want you to keep doing what you do. I also wanted to continue to lift up my prayers for your associate who is continuing to improve on her health. And also wanted to let you know that the Peace in the Morning show continues to talk about Mark the Speaker Man Wiggins and his philosophy on it's hard to love others if you don't love yourself. So that's a great call in, man, and it's still resonating with the people. In addition to that, man, we're reading your books and we're paying attention to what's going on with you. And I have a little special announcement for you hot off the press a little bit later when you give me an interlude. Mark
Yes,
Wiggins,
sir.
man, why don't you do me a favor and take the reins and let us follow you, my brother.
Thank you, Big Bubba Rolling Grimes, for having me on to the Mark Wiggins Show. Again, hello to everyone in eLife Media land and my Facebook fam. I see you out there. Thanks for logging in. Hey, y'all, click share. Send it to your friends and family. We're going to talk about some great stuff tonight. If you read the post, I got a special guest on tonight, Dr. Wiggins, not me. My big sister's coming on tonight. Roland, I'm going to add this little segment I put on my Facebook timeline. And for those who follow me, you can follow me on Speakerman 87 on Facebook, or just Mark Wiggins, you can find me. And I asked my tribe, hey, give me some content topics for the show, right? Give me some context. Okay. So what I did was everybody listed. I appreciate everybody joining in and giving stuff back. But I picked a question tonight, and it is from my boy Doug Brownfield out of Ohio, out of Maple Heights. I don't know where he lives now, but he's Maple Heights, Ohio. And so what we're going to do is towards the end of the show, Dr. Wiggins is going to come on and answer his particular question, and I'm going to give my feedback to it. So I like that format. I'm going to try to get back in and get everybody else's questions, or try to, and probably do and put them on my podcast out there so people can listen or record it and get it out to people. Some great questions, Roland. I think it'll be a great format to get more people involved, get guests in, and she's going to be calling in to the radio show. Hopefully everything's working out there so she can get through. And
yeah, she can call our hotline, man. We're ready for her.
Give me run the number out there from a tribe for me, Roland.
And again, area code 240-455-5934, 240-455-5934.
Definitely. So look, Roland, what I want to talk about tonight is I posted up the question of the night is, how did you get here? How did you get here? And the reason I posted this up, for those following my Facebook line, know that I was in Atlanta for work, and I just started talking to people. I had this mood on. I want to ask some questions, and everything came up. I just wanted to know, how did these entrepreneurs, these people, get here to this moment in time, in space, at the gift mart pushing their product? And so out of that question, I would just say, hey, how did you get here? And people would tell me their quick journey. And so the two stories that popped up that were really, really hot. I met a guy who claims to have been the first to import the selfie stick. You know, the selfie stick, you take pictures of yourself. And he told me the story. He said he was over in China. He saw this stick walking around with the people over in China. And he's like, I need to get this back to the States and get it selling. So he brings it back. gets it to the floor. It's, of course, a huge hit. And I listened to a story, Roland, and I said, that's great. So I talked to someone else. I'm going to get back to this in a second. I talked to another lady. She had a beauty line. It's called Kiss Me in the Garden. The joke is that when we went to the booth to sample a product, she said, hey, everybody, let's put on some moisturizer on your skin, whatever. And I'm like, go ahead. So she rubs it on. And of course, she goes, your skin is so soft and chocolate. I go, I exfoliate. I'm good. So from that point forward, became quick friends. So I asked my friend from Kiss Me in the Garden, Karen, I said, hey, Karen, how did you get here? And Roland, what I found very, very interesting is that two separate people in two separate industries, successful people, said basically the same thing. They told me there were three things that they kind of did that I pulled out of the conversation. And it was kind of interesting. One was they said they had to focus. They were focused on what they were doing. That guy wanted to be the first to market with his product. And my friend Linda said she wanted to create a product, a bath product that you could not put into your cabinet. You had to leave it out. So she designed this fashion thing, right? The next thing she said they had to take was action. They were focused on what they wanted to do, but then they had to take action. Now, he's in China, so you need to move quickly because someone's going to knock you off. He said he brought it in, and inside of 4 months, everybody else had it on the floor, taking action. So the healthcare lady said she went out in the streets. Classic story. She had a few dollars, she made a few bottles, she showed a few bottles and took the money and plowed it right back into her business, and in turn has now a multi-million-dollar health line business. But the last thing they said, Roland, which I found was amazing, was that they said they needed courage. They needed courage. I'm like, where did courage come from? And they basically were saying that courage comes from the ability to step out on your own faith, to step out and do things that no one else is going to do, and go do it, and believe in yourself that it's going to get done. So if you've got courage, that means you're basically, as you know, like to say, Roland, getting off the bench and getting into the game of life. So it takes courage to be called into the game and someone say, hey, you're next. And you go, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to sit right here. But it takes courage to get up and move into doing something. And that's what we're talking about. It takes focus, action, and courage to go get your dreams and to go be successful. And I found that to be the case with entrepreneur after entrepreneur that I talked to on the floor. I mean, you have to see the thing. It's crazy. They've got an idea, they bring it to market, and they try to get orders and they try to sustain their business. And then you may blow up or you may not. But the courage to stand there and take criticism, rejection. You ain't gonna make it. You're not smart enough. Let me know when I'm talking to anybody that, hey, you ain't big enough, smart enough, bright enough, dark enough. You're not any of those things. And you go beyond all of that and say, I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway. That's courage to get off the bench. Hey, Mama, I see you out there watching. Hey, Mom. So that's what I found out down there in Atlanta. And it was just really, really amazing. What you got over there, Roland?
I'm watching you on YouTube. I'm watching you on live to make sure that it's streaming properly.
Am I streaming properly?
Yes, you are.
All right. So we'll talk about, what do you got to say about, Roland? About the focus.
One of the things that comes to mind is it takes courage to get off the bench to get started, but it also takes a modicum of courage to continue to maintain when you start getting hit. Mike Tyson famously said one day, or infamously said, everybody's got a plan until they get hit. So where then do for a lot of folks, that courage goes out of the window when the electric bill gets turned off. When Lou Holtz said something, and I quoted it in my book, if any of you ever have a chance, it's called Total Focus. It's written by a guy named Bryce Bevel and Roland Bubba Grimes. And in it, I talked about something that Lou Holtz, the famed Notre Dame football coach, said on ESPN one time when he was giving a speech to some players. And he said, as he was talking to them, he said, look here, one day in life, you're going to do what you're doing, and you're going to come home, and you're going to find that your 7 kids are sitting there waiting for you to feed them, and Mama done run off with the drummer.
Okay.
And now what are you going to do? And I thought about that, and I said, wow, what do you do when no matter what you're doing, you still get hit with adversity that you can't control and that you thought may have been supportive of you, but all of a sudden it's not. So I say that again because Mark, it takes courage to get started. It also takes courage to finish. These people that you talk to, did they ever express some of their willpower to endure the storms, the valleys, the peaks, and all of the changes that went along with it?
Yeah, they did. Roland, the guy with the selfie stick, clearly stated that the gamble was he had 2 container truckloads coming over from China, and he didn't know if it was going to sell or not.
Wow.
Had no clue if it would really sell, but he thought the idea was hot enough that he stepped out and brought it in. Just like the lady who, and she kept making her product and kept making it and selling it and selling it and selling it. But I find is that the courage thing is definitely something that you have to have when you have the setbacks. When you have the setbacks, and not to give up on yourself, not to give up on your dream. Success does not have an expiration date. Just because someone said this is a great idea, no one says, all right, by tomorrow you need to be finished. No one says that. You say it to yourself, and you get discouraged amongst yourself that you want to quit and give up. But success does not have an expiration date, so you stay with it and you fight with it. You're right, Roland. It's like with practice. Back in the day when you're playing football, summer conditioning was always great until they put the pads on.
Man, everybody look good in shorts and a t-shirt.
Everybody looks great in shorts. I'm running them basketball hills down in Alabama. We look great out there until we had to start getting banged around for 2.5 hours. It was not pretty, not pretty at all. But you have to keep fighting through, and that's the courage portion. Taking action. I mean, we can take action. We can get the business plan together. We can meet with this person. Those are action items.
Okay.
But the courage is when you wake up at night and go, dear God, is this really going to work? And you say, yes, it's going to work. And you step out there. That is absolutely what is going to happen.
Now, Mark, has anyone ever said to you that some of the people who are doing the things that you guys are doing are also a tad bit nuts?
Everybody says you're crazy.
Okay.
I have this one saying, actually in one of my first books, it says the phrase goes, my dreams are just as stupid as yours. My dreams are just as stupid as yours. Meaning, you're holding on to something inside of you and you're already dealing with yourself thinking it's crazy. So you don't want to share it with anybody because they're going to say, you sound so stupid. But that dream is inside of you. And Roland, when I met you, I'm going to say it now, and I've said to you before, I thought you were absolutely insane with this radio thing. Hey, that's just my opinion. I kept it to myself. But when we start talking about,
did, brother.
When we start talking about our own dreams, though, and sharing, you probably said the same thing. I believe you, but you sound crazy as a loon. What are you talking about? But everybody has something crazy. But the question becomes, if I believe what you say about my dream, I'm the one that is crazy. I shouldn't have to necessarily need your support. That's what the book, self-plug, Success Does Not Need a Cosign was all about. You don't need anyone to be on your team to make you go. You get people on your team to help you keep going. You don't need people, yeah, let's go. And then you turn around and you need them. Like you said, when the lights go out, when the car gets repoed and the tires go down and they're not there, who's going on? You've got to decide what your success is.
And those things are almost guaranteed.
Guaranteed to happen in some form or fashion.
The light's going to get cut off. Your car's going to get repossessed. Mama or daddy or somebody, is going to turn it back on you. I read some clips, excerpts of a book, and said, and it listed like 11 abominable things, and then at the end of it said, now you're ready to be an entrepreneur. If you can handle all of these things, now you're ready to be an entrepreneur. And one of the greatest stories I heard, Mark, consistent with what you're saying, is that story of Sylvester Stallone. Now people call you a genius. It's kind of like when George Clinton and those guys first came up with the idea of landing a spaceship on stage. And of course, everybody said they were crazy. And then they landed the mothership, and then they called them geniuses. So you went from being crazy to a genius just because you executed what it was that you told people that they'd never seen before. So nobody believed that a white guy could win a heavyweight championship, in the 70s, because it just didn't exist. So Sylvester Stallone came up with this movie where the white guy, is going to become a champion, and they're like, the people in Hollywood are like, man, get that out of here. So he lost everything, and I think his wife eventually walked out on him, and then he sold his dog. And then ultimately, there was some producer who said, all right, man, look, we'll give you X number of dollars for it. And he said, but I got to star in the movie. He's like, what? You want to play in it too? And he said, yeah. He said, tell you what, give me $35,000 or whatever, and then just give me my money on the back end. And they said, sure. And the movie made $200 million.
And you get the
So
statue.
right. And again, that's going to be one out of every 100 stories. 99 of those stories, those folks are going to fail over and over again before they perhaps have that one. Mark, I think you got a caller on the line. Let me see if I can get this turned up a little bit. Caller, are you on the line?
I am on the line.
All right, so we're going to try to make it so that everybody can hear you. Just be patient with me as I try to keep things tuned in. Please state your name for the record.
Hi, my name is Dr. Valencia Wiggins. I'm Mark's big sister.
Mark, can you hear that?
I can hear it. Got a little bit of kickback on it, but I can hear.
Right, you're going to have some kickback because we're running it through a couple of different things. But, Mark, go ahead and speak to Dr. Wiggins, and we'll just keep working on it on this end.
All right, everybody, we're at the part of the show, new part of the show called Ask Coach Wiggins. So I asked everybody on my timeline to put in a content question. I was looking for some content for the show tonight, and everybody gave some great feedback. Like I said, I'm going to try to get to those at different shows or maybe a podcast or whatever. I'm trying to keep my momentum going, my word for the year, right? The momentum going. And so now what I did was I pulled a question, and Doug Brownfield, my homie, had the question. His question involves his daughter. His question says, sports injuries and kids trying to play through pain. So the question was that his daughter is being injured or playing hurt, trying to play through pain. She doesn't want to stop because she's afraid that if she doesn't play, that the recruiters will not see her nor recruit her, right? So what I did was I called the good Dr. Wiggins to come on because there's a couple of issues working here. And so she's going to answer the question, Roland, and then I'm going to chime in. So Dr. Wiggins, if you got the microphone, go ahead and give him what you got.
All right. Thank you, Mark and Roland. Glad to be on your show this evening. Just looking at this question, there's a couple things. There's a part of a parent and their responsibility to their child, and then there's also the emotional and psychological health that the child is also dealing with in playing in sports, especially high-pressure situations. Like this one sounds like she's playing for a national volleyball team. So the first thing I would think about is it's your child, so you want to make sure that their health is that they're safe. You want to be careful about sports injuries, so you really want to make sure that your child is under the care of a physician, especially dealing with sports injuries. It's estimated that 10 million individuals, including 3.5 million children under the age of 14, will suffer a sports-related injury. So that is bound to happen. But thinking about the emotional, psychological health of your child, the pressures of playing on a team, I would be concerned about the atmosphere. What's the coach like? What's the team like? Why is she fearful? And what that means, and that needs to be addressed as well. The other thing, too, is, playing these situations, children are under a lot of emotional stress. So it can fluctuate how they're feeling, and especially with this particular child playing in pain. There's also some things that could be damaging to her emotionally as well.
Valencia, let me jump in. Let me jump in right quick. So you're talking about the psychological side. Now, people don't know. So my background, my sister, she's actually used to be a counselor at Wheaton College and dealt with athletes all the time. Division III athletes. What do you when you're talking to them about this decision to play or not play because of the pain? What were you finding that their biggest struggle was?
Well, the struggle is you don't want to be off the team. So you're playing at your highest level, and so you don't want to miss any opportunities. So if you are injured, that means that you're not in the game. It means that you don't feel like you're contributing to your team. I used to work with a lot of tennis players on the women's tennis team, and we had the bomb women's tennis team. And so if someone was injured, they couldn't play, it would be devastating because they're not contributing. And also not having that experience of being number one in their sport.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's great advice. And again, thank you for chiming in, Dr. Wiggins. Stay on the line for a second. So basically, we're talking. If you can't quite hear, Dr. Wiggins, my sister was saying that we need to, as parents, pay attention to the psychological side of it as well, not just the physical side. Yeah, they're hurting, but trying to play through pain and doing things and possibly endangering themselves. And they're usually, I do have a pediatrician who listens in, who probably can vouch for all of that. And Roland, you know it, you've seen it at the collegiate level, I've seen it. But I'm going to answer the other side of the question to Doug and about worrying about college scouts seeing them or not. And I'm not sure what grade she's in, Doug, but I do know this, that if she's played anything, got any tape at any moment, at any time, and she's on a high-level team, she's been seen, right? She's been seen. And by the way, you got people pushing for her. You got the coach pushing for her. You got the parents pushing for her. You're traveling around and you're playing in the high school league. No one wants to see the child not make it to the next level. So if she's doing everything she's doing, supposedly on the outside, then they're going to see that too. But the coaches also want to know, is this kid coachable? Will they follow instructions? She's hurt. The trainer them done said you could sit out a game and you're still trying to play. Well, that's guts and grits. Yeah, we love it. No, we don't. Because at some point in time, you won't listen, you won't sit down. And you'll be one of those 3 million kids, whatever, that gets hurt. So I would just simply say, if you got film, you got footage, you got a coach who cares and a team that's ranking and playing in all the big tournaments. She is being seen. She's being seen.
And the college game is a whole lot different now than it used to be when we were playing. You have so many different levels and so many different opportunities now to play on the collegiate level. It's just a matter of getting where you fit in. And if something happens during your high school career and you don't fit in at the level that you aspire to, it's okay. Get in where you can fit in and enjoy the experience, go to college, get some stuff done, do your studying, and, it can turn out to be a real good situation for you.
It is definitely a good situation for you. Go ahead, Blancy.
I was just going to say, also this is a chance to help kids build resiliency skills. So what happens when you don't get what you want, or you have to be out? So it's important to build these resiliency skills now so when they do get to college level or professional level, they're ready.
Absolutely. That's great, to build resiliency skills. Like, how do you handle adversity? That's part of being recruited. Like I said, I've told the story several times when Micaiah was playing Valencia at the high school level in these major tournaments and junior nationals. I asked the recruiter, I just simply asked the question, what, with 300 some odd kids playing at the same time, you can't possibly see them all. What are you looking for? Mm-hmm. And they were like, well, we know they probably got basic skills. They can probably play. But what I watch for, this is what the recruiter said, I watch for the in-between things. When the coach pulls them out, are they yakking and cussing up all the way to the bench? When they make a mistake, how fast do they bounce back from a mistake? Are they still in the mistake in the moment? Are they yelling at teammates? Are they taking coaching? That is part of the recruiting process as well. So they're not just looking at the skill set. They can teach you what they want to know. But what they can't teach is at home training, the choices that you make and emotional and how you deal with things. And that affects kids. And a lot of kids don't know that, Roland, you know this, they get cut and not recruited and ain't know what happened to them. They don't even know what happened. Right. Well, they saw your attitude. They saw your tweet. They talked to your teacher. They talked to your coach. And those things play into it as well.
No question. And to Dr. Wiggins' point, how do you deal with it when you don't get what you want? Mark, true story. Mark, I was offered scholarships to Ohio State, Penn State, Boston College, West Virginia, North Carolina State, Maryland, on and on and on. I wanted to go to Pitt and I wanted to go to Rutgers. And those are the only two schools on the East Coast that didn't offer me. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? And then folks would say, man, Penn State is offering you, Ohio State is offering you, Syracuse is offering you, Virginia Tech is offering you, but I wanted to go to Rutgers and I wanted to go to Pitt. Dr. Wiggins and they were the two schools that said, we have no interest in you whatsoever.
That's where you wanted to go.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, I had to go from being upset, to looking at, okay, is my glass like half empty or is it like really overflowing? Because when I look at all this stuff, and other people are jealous of me because of what I'm like, yeah, but I didn't get Rutgers. But I just want to share that with you. And a lot of times we watch stuff. Go ahead.
Roland, how did you get through that then? When the that disappointment? How to deal with that disappointment?
You know,
You're on the couch now, Roland. You're on the couch.
All right, you ready? The first thing is I have a flip switch. So I flipped that switch and I said, okay, I'm going to go someplace and play against both of you. That was number one. So I'm going to cause misery to you for not selecting me. And I looked at the schedule, and Syracuse had both of them on the schedule for 4 straight years. And I said, I'm going there.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Dr. Wiggins, for chiming in. We appreciate your input on that. I'm sure I'll be calling you back for more stuff. And love you, big sis. Thank you.
Love you too. Thank you. Bye, Roland.
Love you, big sis.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
That's what's up. So that
Man,
was
that
the,
was awesome.
I like that, Roland. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that. So as a gift, a surprise, because Doug, you were the lucky caller, and now we picked your question. I'm going to send your daughter a copy of this book for free. So inbox me your mailing address. I'll sign it and send it to her, let her read it. She got any questions or whatever. Definitely have her talk to other people. You got a lot of friends who went to college and high school. Have her talk to as many athletes as possible about her situation. And I guarantee you they're going to say some of the things we heard tonight and then some, especially those who know her better than I. So I appreciate you contributing to that. So we appreciate you there.
Mark, we're going to put some of this in motion, man. As you are moving, there's some things that are moving around you that you haven't been able to see yet. So I just want to declare for your entire audience and to let you know, my brother,
Yes,
that
sir. Yes, sir.
in very short order, you are going to be drafted every other month to give a part of your empowerment presentation to small groups of 6 to 8 folks that are within the media industry, education, sports, business, etc., at an exclusive mini mansion. And it's going to be your time, showtime, and you will be compensated by the Rolling Grimes Show, and we will be discussing it in more detail in the coming weeks, man. And I am so excited for that opportunity, man, to listen and learn from you and let other folks listen and learn from you. Hope to do 6 of these a year every other month. So I want to do the Rolling Grimes Show on stage every other month, and I want you every other month around mine to do your thing. Oh, and I want to do a small group so everybody can get detailed feedback from you during that time, man. I'm so excited about that. We have the venue. It's still under wraps, but we have the venue, and we're getting ready to start getting everything cranked up in the next 2 or 3 weeks, man.
What? Rolling Grimes, man, I appreciate you, dog. I knew when we first met that I was riding with you and you going to ride on out of here. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
What's up, Dr. Griffin? I see you out there. Thank you for joining in. But that is hot, man. It's great because a lot of things are moving. As you know, on your side, I got some stuff popping here. Still working on my speakers conference to come off in the Virginia side. So we definitely want you probably in the house for that. No doubt. And we not talked since my birthday party, have we? We not talked since my birthday party?
I mean, we've spoken. But
we ain't talked on the radio about the show.
Yeah.
Did we talk about it?
No.
I don't think we did.
Talk to me.
Anyway, I was wondering, we talked about it prior to the event. So right quick, for those who didn't make it out to my 50th celebration book release party, the banner behind me is the deal. So what happened was we did a show and people were there. I was interviewed by Winter Harris, who's actually on the line, but she's getting ready to do her relationship show tonight. So she's on. Roland came out. And a lot of other folks. I had vendors in the house. I had Stephanie DeBerry, who's one of my speaking clients, helping her to get speaking going. She interviewed the vendors in the house, and there were several vendors there who were there showing their wares. Cheryl Tolbert, who's on the line, she was there serving food. I need some more food. Just a hint there, right there. Thanks, Cheryl. And a lot of people were there, and it was just a great time. And I was interviewed about the book, and it really was me giving back to everybody, Roland. It was great to receive, but it was really me giving back to those around the room. And out of that came the idea for this speaker conference I want to do. And I'll share that a little bit later and get to more details. But if you're a motivational speaker, want to be a speaker, thinking about speaking, hit me on my inbox on Facebook, and I'm going to give you the details on that. It's going to be a great, great event. It's going to be a workshop like you've never had before. But one of the things that happened with this book, again, success does not need a cosigner. You can get it at booksbymarkwiggins.com. Booksbymarkwiggins.com, and you can order it there. And for every one of these books that's ordered, and so far, Roland, I've got to ship out over 100 of other books. For every book that's ordered, I have this thing called Motivated Kid. Motivated Kid. So when you buy this book or any other of my books, I send out for free my MTXC for teens, Mental Toughness with Extreme Effort for teens. So right now, I've got a couple of organizations that are have books coming to them from the previous sales and the pre-sales of the book. And it's a great program. It's a give back program. And I think it's going to be continuing to go great. So wherever I sell a book, just know that somewhere another child or teen is going to be blessed by your efforts. So we're doing the blessing thing, and you just don't know where it's going to land, and that's awesome. So Roland, we gonna make this thing pop off.
Man, I'm excited, man. I am excited to be a part of it all, man. It's it's a blessing. I got a call this week, man, from someone who said she had been trying to reach me for a year, and I'm gonna try to get through this without getting emotional. But I got a call from Mrs. Wilbert Skipper,
Mm.
and it had been
Wow.
almost over 2 years, maybe
Yep,
three,
yep.
since I last spoke with her. And she said, Roland, I've been trying to reach you for about a year. And she said, I just went online and I found your number. And I said, is everything okay? What's going on? And she said, well, I just wanted to tell you, I didn't mean to lose contact with you. I'm grateful for all the things you did for Skip. And she said, I just wanted to reach out to you and tell you, that I appreciate you. And man, before we got through 4 or 5 sentences, both of us were boo-hooing.
Mm.
And that was a tough thing, man. But what happens, folks, is that when I first started the concept of the Roland Grimes Show, when we first started the concept, Finesse Demps, who was the creator, and myself, we had a co-host by the name of Wilbert Skipper, and Wilbert took ill and passed away. But Wilbert was one of those people that had the opportunity to introduce me to a Mark Wiggins. And right after we interviewed Mark Wiggins, I said, man, I need to get this guy on to be an occasional co-host for some of our segments. And Skip said, man, right on. And then Mark started walking into that space. Who knows what God has planned? I just know that I'm trying my best to keep walking within his plan and not fight it and let it evolve as he sees fit. Not easy. But when she called, I realized, sort of a new affirmation that we're on the right track, and that the things we are doing, and when you go back and you plug in some of those old shows and see some of those conversations, Mark, they were extraordinary pieces of media literature.
Yeah. Skipper was he was that guy. He was very charismatic, ball player. We hit it off immediately. We started talking about, here's this in my eyes now. I've been speaking for a minute and wrote several books by the time I met Skipper, but he'd been on television and working with Roland. They've done 100 videos in the summer and all that kind of craziness.
Yeah.
And here I come, meet with Skipper. He asking me, hey, Mark, I need to get this book done.
Yeah.
And I was like, Skip, we can get a book done, and I'm working with Skip, get this book done. And little, like you said, Ron, little we know that was one of the last big things he got finished, was that book. And I'm glad it was finished and not unfinished, because the world needs to benefit from that book. We need to do something with that, Roland, in some kind of way, to keep that book out there. So that was awesome. I appreciate the opportunity to let me into the circle.
Yeah, man.
And do work.
And once you get in, you can't come out.
Yeah. It's just like, I keep trying to get out and keep pulling me back in.
All right,
anyway,
Mark.
So
the ball's in your court, man. How you want to wrap up, buddy?
Let me wrap it up like this. Again, to everybody out there on eLife Media, be sure to chime in and follow some great shows that come on every morning. 9 o'clock, is it rolling? 9 o'clock is a 9 o'clock show.
9 o'clock. Peace in the morning.
Media. Peace in the morning. He's a phenomenal man. Great message. Support the media there. And thank you to my Facebook family for logging in and hanging out with me and support. Do that. But I just want to leave you with that repeat of what we talked about at the beginning of the video about your dreams. Number one, you need to be focused. Not priorities, it's priority. It's one. Do one thing at a time. You stay focused. take action. So when you have your plan, you laid it out, you do what you're going to do. That's all wonderful, but unless you engage it and move forward with it, you're not going anywhere. So take action. And lastly, be courageous. Have the courage to set a goal so big that when you make it, it blows your own mind. Like blew my own mind. And if you do that and stay focused and surround yourself with good people, not hype people, not people just going to just surround yourself with a strong, strong team. Roland is part of my team. There's very few people that I can say that are part of my team that support me, that keep me in line, that check me, that help me, and want to ultimately see me be successful because ... That's it. Anything else is a detractor. Anything else is pulling you away from where you want to go. And if you lose and you get sidetracked and you pull away from your passion, your hunger, and your drive, you'll be forever wondering what would have happened. Don't let that be you.
And
focus.
And also, for the record, Roland's support of Mark, the Speakerman Wiggins, isn't charity work. Mark, I found out, was a very dynamic speaker. Mark, I found out, was a very committed author. Mark, I found out, played well on camera in front of folks. And as Skip and I sat and watched him and watched how freely and fluidly he did what he did in front of folks, impromptu, not even knowing the script. Sometimes we got started, and Mark handled those things. I knew I had come across a talent. And, so it's not charity work. There's time for charity work, and then there's time to work with the folks who can deliver some stuff to some folks. And as I have been telling people about Mark Speakerman Wiggins, and I have been texting people at eLife Media and beyond about Mark Speakerman Wiggins, I'm like, man, y'all got to call this guy. You got to get him on the show. You got to get him to call in. Mark took it upon himself to call in one morning on the Piece of the Morning show. And I tell you, every other day, they keep saying, man, what was that Mark Speakerman Wiggins said? Man, if you don't love yourself, it's hard to love other people. And Delegate Darrell Barnes keeps saying, man, I love what that guy said. So just that one phone call, my prompting people to connect with him, and I'm getting frustrated because it's not happening fast enough. And I say, you know what, I'm going to stop getting frustrated. Let it go where it goes. And Mark says, man, I want to call in, but the show's not on. I say, well, we're getting it booted up. And then Mark called in, and from that moment on, his name is being spoken in a sphere of people that many of them he did not know, and they did not know him before this particular phone call came in. So again, man, it's not just charity work, and you all keep this in mind because on your A team, you have to have horses. On your B team, you know how this works. On your C team, and then you can go down the ladder. So there's always going to be people around you who have to play certain roles. And then there are folks who, when the lights come on, you have to be able to step into that stage, and you have to be able to take it to the stage at a moment's notice. So you have to have those 18 people, and Mark Wiggins is one of those 18 people. So August 12th is the next Rolling Grimes Show Festival live on stage. I hope Mark's in town. And if he is, we're going to tear the roof off the sucker one more time. Saturday, August 12th.
That was a great thing on that Black Box Theater. So
that thing awesome.
Lastly, let me leave with this, Roland. Hey, as I close out most of my videos and things, shouts out to my dad, McKinley Wiggins, for this corny statement that's been with me for the last 10, 12 years. If you can reach your dreams with a stepladder, then they're probably too low. I'll holler, everybody. Thanks, Rolly.